Hi everyone, how have you all been? Good to see all of you again. It feels like it's been a while, but again, it also feels like it hasn't been long at all either, so it's one of those types of crazy days. Charleston, great to see you here. He says, hey Eric, just noticed the notification, so I joined at the right time. I'm also surprised you're going to talk about the chicken jockey drama. Yeah, there's a bit of a slow news week, and a few people did want to know my thoughts on that, so I thought, alright, I'll cover it. So, yeah. Let's see who else is here. We got Big Bash here, we got Fireboy, Batman235, the usual suspects. You're all here. Goat, G Gamer, I Hate Anime, Key Wayne Hill, Lucas is also here. Robin, Mikhail. Is Mikhail someone new who's joined the stream? If so, welcome. I hope you enjoy. This is the my 71st live stream, I think this one is. So, yeah. I think I've done a couple others before that, but once I started keeping count, yeah, 71st. Got Dark here. Dead Wolf Productions is also here. Great to see you again, bud. Elijah says, I've just finished watching your Versus video of Batman at the Animated Series and the Cape Crusader. Oh, really? You just finished? What do you think of it? I hope you enjoyed it. That video took a lot of time to work on. TV show Versus videos are really difficult and really hard to do. Midnight Dubstep is here. Batman's Gamer! He says he's returned. Bud, you really have. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Great to see you back. Dark says that video was so cool. I'm glad you think so. Did hear about Haley Joel Osment being arrested. Yes, I did, Crazy Cat Lady. I didn't look into it deeply, but I heard about that, yeah. Khan says, how have you been, almighty captain? I've been good. I've been very tired and very busy. I've been doing crazy amounts of work I have lately. I've been working on 2 Versus videos right now, and I'm also writing another video, which is separate. And I've got other Versus videos in mind too. And yeah, so basically a lot of work is going on. I'm kind of writing other Versus videos as I can, and I'm also trying to get other ideas. Trying to have those materialized. I'm still working on the Nintendo Switch 2 is a scam video. So I've got a lot of stuff that I'm doing. Also, I've been very heavily working on Patreon as well, so that's another thing I've been working on. So very, very busy, as you can imagine. A new Nintendo Switch 2 trailer came out 30 minutes ago, says I Hate Anime. Oh, really? Oh, cool. So hopefully if I get this Switch 2 video out, I want to get it out. I've been working on it for quite a bit. I just want to get it over and done with. Some new information came out regarding the Switch 2, so I had to update the video. And when you've already recorded and edited a video, having to update it, you got to delete things, add things in. It makes the project a bit harder to work on. So that's why I've been finding that a bit tricky. Goat says, I got a Nintendo Switch for my birthday because the prices were lower. That's cool. I got the Steam Deck, which is what I use to play. Neil, the main man, says, are you watching Last of Us Season 2? No, I'm not, because I wasn't a fan of the first season because I thought everything it was trying to do, I thought the game did so much better. So it was just too distracting for me. So I did a Versus video for the first 2 episodes of The Last of Us Season 1, but then I kind of stopped. I would have done the whole season, but I was getting a new computer at the time, and my previous computer was practically at the end of its lifespan. So it was a lot of hard work, basically, to do those Versus videos. And ultimately, they weren't performing like I really kind of wanted them to, so I just stopped making The Last of Us Versus videos and I moved on. But I'm considering watching Last of Us Season 2 on my Patreon as part of the Let's Watch stuff, so I might do that. Might. A big emphasis on might right there. Eric, watch more and Jerry Weather on YouTube. Okay, I don't know what Jerry Weather is. Let's see. Super Angry is here. Grr to you as well, bud. What did you think? Oh, you're talking to Scythes, Batman's Gamers. The G Gamer says $450 once the scalpers come. It's going to be like crazy high, like $800 to $1,000, which I'm scared of. Yeah, scalpers, they really... I was going to make a joke, say they have to be scalped, but they basically need to be, punished for this kind of thing because they're not allowing other people to buy these systems. I mean, the PS5 for the first 2 years was hard to come by, not just because of the pandemic, but because of scalpers. Big Bash says, my dad finally showed me how to drive this morning. Oh, cool. How was it? I hope it went well. Arathorn 999 is back. Great to see you, buddy. He says, eat the rich. Okay. Dark says, Eric, which movie will be better, Fantastic Four or Superman? Well, that's what we're going to talk about when we talk about the Versus thing, isn't it? So I'm not going to talk about that just yet. Let's wait for the time for this. Wait for it to come to that story before we talk about that, bud. Okay. Big Bass says it went well. Left turns are annoying. I can imagine. Hello everyone, how are we doing? What did I miss? Good times, you didn't miss anything. I'm just waiting for more people to come into the stream, then we're gonna get into the stories that we've got lined up. And again, I've got, if you want to ask me any questions during these stories, you can, but I won't be answering them straight away. I'll be answering them later during the Q&A session. However, if you donate through Super Chat or Streamlabs Chat, which there's a link in the description and a link on the pinned comment section, if you donate through those, then as soon as I finish the story, your questions will be the first ones I answer. They'll be all piled and lined up. If you want your questions answered, then that's the best way to get it done. It supports the channel too, and it definitely means that your questions will get answered. And they'll be right at the top of the pile, prioritized for me to answer for you. So that's how you get your questions in, if you definitely want to make sure that you get them answered. Selena says, hey Eric, would it be cool if Edgar Wright did a Star Wars movie because it has the potential to be something great and fun? I thought it would have been cool and fun if he actually made the Ant-Man movie for Marvel, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So, yeah, him do a Star Wars movie? I don't know. I want to see him go back to doing more of his, like, Cornetto trilogy, like when he did Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and The World's End. I want to see more movies like that from him. I miss those types of films. Chris Thompson says, I don't know which movie will do better. I just hope both are at least good. I hope so too. Neil, I did see the Megan 2.0 trailer. I actually did a video before the trailer came out, and I knew exactly what the plot points were supposed to be, and I was discussing them in that video. So if you go back to watch that video, you'll probably be surprised at how much I actually got right, based on some information I was looking up. So yeah, and I did a lot of my discussions there, so yeah, check it out if you want to know my thoughts. My thoughts in that video still reflect my thoughts after having seen this trailer, so if you want to know my thoughts, check out that video where I talk about the synopsis of the film. My problem with the trailer though is that it looks too girly, way too girly, and they're trying to sexualize Megan, which I never saw Megan as a sexualized character. I saw her that she used to do all those dances and stuff, but it was a little girl character. Now they're trying to appeal to a weird crowd, and there was that weird fat guy in the trailer that was like, I don't care if she murdered people, she's whatever or something he said, I can't remember. That was crazy. Too crazy, dude. That was just way too crazy. It's like, what are you trying to say? It's like they've fetishized Megan is what it feels like. I like the idea that they're doing a Terminator 2-like scenario. That's what I said in that video I made, that I like the idea of a Terminator 2 rather than a straight-up horror movie. But still, the way they're going about it, not so good. I think if you watch that movie Companion, I thought that did a better job than what Megan is doing. Megan seems like it's kind of just jumping the shark here. Khan says, that sounds really creepy, Eric. Like, seriously, what sounds creepy? Have you seen Sinners movie? I haven't. I was thinking of watching it and doing a review for you guys, but then I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to try to cut down on those potentially. I'll tell you why. The main reason I'm cutting down on them is because I want to do much more Versus videos on the channel, because I don't know, maybe there was a time when my Versus videos used to get loads of views, and that's because I used to prioritize Versus videos, but along the way, as more of you started subscribing to me, I started to do more individual reviews for movies. And I think that might be throwing off the YouTube algorithm. So because of that, I don't want to be doing reviews of movies on my channel. Not yet, at least. So I'm going to take a break from those. So if you want to watch my reviews when I put them up, then head on over to my Patreon, click join for free, and the reviews that you see on my channel, try to take those reviews that I normally do, like the car reviews and everything, I'm going to probably put them on my Patreon, and they'll be free for you guys, so you don't have to worry, I'm not charging for them. If you want to support me over on Patreon, that's entirely your choice. But those reviews, for now, I'm thinking of putting them on there as a join as free members type thing, you know. So if you want to see those reviews, that's probably the way to do it, I would suggest. I just want to do a couple months on my channel where it's just versus videos and see how that goes. That's what I want to do. And we've got a £2.41 donation through Streamlabs, which is incredibly kind. And that donation is from Liam. Liam says, big fan of your channel, mate. Great stuff. Looking forward to your reactions to the end of Daredevil Born Again. Oh, cool. Thanks, Liam. Yeah, I've got the second reaction recorded, but I'm wondering if I should even put that on my YouTube channel again, because like I said, the algorithm is what I'm trying to really sort out on my channel here. But like I said, all those reactions are on my Patreon where you see them in full. So I'm going to try to... I'll see what I do with that second episode. And then we'll see what I do with the final one. But yeah, that's what I'm currently thinking right now. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll make a separate channel where I can put all the Let's Watch stuff, because people do have separate channels for certain stuff, and maybe I'll do that for the Let's Watch stuff. So watch this space. I'll definitely keep you guys updated. But right now I'm trying to focus on versus videos, and you might notice I'm gonna do some changes with the versus videos too in terms of the presentation. I'm not gonna say how, but it will be a blast from the past. Let me just put it that way. Gamersaur says, hi Eric, sorry I wasn't here last week. Don't worry about it, buddy. If it can't happen, it's okay. Do you like how colourful the new Superman suit is? Batman 235, we'll talk about that later, not right now. Who was talking there about the algorithm? Rohan, I'm doing good, buddy. How about yourself? Chris Thompson says, YouTube's algorithm is like movie studios. They only want what makes money. Yeah, and my versus videos used to always do that. Big Bash, what versus video are you working on currently? I don't want to say. I want to keep it a surprise again. I feel like I've been like taking the surprise out of it by telling you guys all the time. So I'm going to try to keep that a surprise. Why is the studio lights just way too bright, it feels? It's like I've got so much light on me is what it feels like. Let me see if I can adjust that. It's bizarre. I don't know why. There, maybe that works better. Let's see, what versus video... No, I've already answered that. Arathon says, hi, Captain Eric. I'll be back full-time in about 4 weeks. I've been at uni and I'm shooting a short film next week. Oh, really? Well done, bud. Good luck to you on that. If you upload it on YouTube, send it out here and we'll take a look. Dark says, Eric, do you think Spider-Man 4 will be better than No Way Home? I hope so. Super Angry says, bro, just do a Sinners versus any vampire movie video. Sinners has vampires. I was thinking that. I was thinking of doing a versus video between that and From Dusk Till Dawn. I was thinking of doing a versus video with Sinners and that. So maybe, but the thing is I've got a lot on my plate as it is, and I've got other versus videos in mind as well. So I was thinking only do it if I feel like I can actually make something out of it. Like I can actually get a video out in time. I don't want it to be a super detailed one, but it has to be good. But we'll see. I'll consider it. I will consider it. But I don't know if Sinners is doing good on YouTube. I've not really checked in terms of, is it like something people are actively looking for? We'll have to see. Are you interested in the Until Dawn movie? Says, I hate anime. Yes, but only because David Sandberg is directing, and I'm a big fan of his. Joshman says, Eric, I was asking you before, how are you doing today, and do we have any bad news? We're going to Fantastic Four First Steps, alongside the chicken jockey trend and crazy people trashing the theatre. We don't have any bad news. I'm just talking about. You'll see what I talk about when I talk about Superman and Fantastic Four. But yeah, there's a bunch of news coming around. Spirit Hero says, I've heard a lot of good things about Sinners. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things too, but I've not seen it yet. So I'm gonna see if I can plan to see it at some point, and then we'll see if I do a versus video on it. So yeah. Has anyone here seen Sinners in the chat? Joshman, I won't be answering what versus videos I'm working on. I'm gonna keep that a surprise. Dark says it's very good. I Hate Anime says nope, but I'm considering it. Lucas says I did and it was really good. Dark says it was good. Chris Thompson says no. Khan says unfortunately no. Big Bash says no. A lot of you have not seen it. Goat says yes, it's the best movie of the year. Oh, cool. Looks good. Nope, says Dead Wolf. Wow, a lot of you have not seen the Sinners movie. Supersonic hasn't. Robin says no, but thinking of seeing it. You guys that haven't seen it are kind of like me. I said I haven't, but I'm thinking of seeing it too. Rohan says nope. Might watch it next weekend. I haven't seen it. Probably won't, says Good Times. Wow, a lot of you haven't. So based on that scale, do you think it's a good idea to make a versus video for Sinners? Neoma says, I plan to see it on the 23rd. Charleston says, I'll consider it. Super angry. That's funny. Probably not. Fireboy says, did not see it. Okay, for those of you that have seen it, would you say it's a good comparison to do with a good versus video? Would it be a good versus video to do with From Dusk Till Dawn? Will that be a good idea? Or is the movie too different to compare to that? Dark says, I don't want you getting overworked with too many versus videos. Yeah, I don't want to get overworked with too many as well. That's kind of where I'm, in two minds about it, because I'm already working on 2 versus videos. One of which you already know, it's Snow White. I'm not going to tell you the other one. I haven't seen Dusk Till Dawn, says Dark. Oh, really? Okay, don't watch any trailers. Just watch that movie and let me know what you think. That's a movie where it's like... It's one of those movies where it's like, no, don't know anything going into it. Just watch it and see what happens. That's what happened to me when I saw it, and I was like, wow. Big Bash says, Eric, how many videos are you working on exactly? Let me see. Right now I'm writing 2 of them, and I'm editing one of them at the same time, because I'm already recording some of it. Even before the stream, I recorded 2 segments of the Versus video. And I've got a couple others in mind. I wrote another script for a video, which I'm not going to do yet, but I was just inspired to write it, so I did. And then there are a couple of others. I'm not working on tons, but I'm still working on Patreon, so I have lightened my load, basically. Right now I'm working on 3 videos, and then if there's any other videos on Patreon, that'll be like 4 or 5, so... Yeah, so 3 videos on YouTube and a couple on Patreon, basically, so about 5 videos. That's why I always say, you guys, even if you're donating on Patreon, I always make sure I give my viewers tons of content. You know, like, so your donations are worth it. So, yeah. I think, you know what, I think just for now, I think what I'll do is I'll just I'll put the Patreon perks back here. I like Dark says, bro is cooking with vids. Cooking with the vids, yeah, I know. Can I get a Matrix versus video, says Chris Thompson? Maybe, at some point if I want to. Big Bash says, your Patreon feels worth it. The $10 is worth it. I'm glad you think so. Because like I said, I always want to make sure that the donations help support me, help keep the channel going. But I always want to make sure you get plenty in return. So right now, it's the Daredevil Born Again episode reactions, which are up on my Patreon. So if you want to see those in their entirety, that's where to see it. On YouTube, I'm not going to be putting all of the Let's Watch episodes on there. I'm only going to do a couple. So to watch them all, the Patreon is where to go, and YouTube memberships is where to go. The G Gamer says, not going to lie, the $30 TV show episode option is probably the most affordable for people. Yeah, probably so. Let's see. But yeah, thank you, Big Bash. I appreciate that. JD Batsman says, hi, Eric. Just joined. Oh, welcome, bud. I hope you enjoy the stream when we get to the stories. What are your thoughts on the Fast and Furious movie? On the first one, I can't remember. It's been such a long time since I've seen the first Fast and Furious, but I did really like it. But the problem is that if you're used to watching the later ones, which got crazy, this first Fast and Furious movie is much more grounded. It's nowhere near as crazy as those, so it might hit you with whiplash if you watch the first Fast and Furious movie after the much more crazier later movies in the franchise. Afro Otaku says, also, hey Eric, been listening for a while. Oh, hi buddy, is this your first live stream? Because I don't think I've seen you pop into the stream before. Unless you had a different name before, in which case probably. Super Angry says, boy, you should make an Electric State versus the Creator video. They both have robots. Here's the thing. There are tons of great versus video ideas. But there's no way to get them all done in time in a high quality format, so I'll have to pick certain types. Just know I've got other versus video ideas in mind too, and they might be quite surprising. So hopefully, if I focus purely on versus videos on the channel, you guys will probably be happy with some of the ideas I've got coming up, because I've actually given them some thought. Crypto is cute in Superman says Batman 235. Well, we'll talk about that later. Have you seen the Minecraft movie, Eric, says Lucas? No, I have not. I did consider it, though. I considered doing a Minecraft versus Super Mario versus video, but I didn't have time to do that because I'm working on three videos right now and 2 Patreon videos, so I'm focusing my time and attention on those. Watch it for the memes, says Chris. Well, I don't have to go to the theater to watch it for the memes. I can watch it at home for the memes. So I'll prefer to just wait for that personally. Wow, Dark says, I was 8 when Into the Spider-Verse dropped, 13 when Across the Spider-Verse came out, and I'll be 18 when Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out. Wow, bud, that is, that's quite a big deal, that's, it's funny when you're watching a movie and you age significantly as the films come out. That was kind of the case for me when Batman Begins came out. I had just turned 10, and then when the Dark Knight came out, I was 13, and just turned 13, and then when The Dark Knight Rises came out after that, I was 17. So yeah, that's I kind of went through a similar thing in that regard. So yeah, the Batman movies for me was a huge deal. And then of course I also was a kid when I was watching like Toy Story, and look at how that happened. When the first movie came out, that's the year I was born. When the second movie came out, I think I was about 4. And when the third movie came out, I was 15. So, and then when the fourth movie came out after that, I think I was like in my 20s or something, maybe. So yeah, that just goes to tell you how the years fly by. And now when the 5th movie comes out, I'll be in my 30s. So it kind of really just tells you like how crazy it is how these franchises like last from when how they keep existing and last from when you're born to when you're a kid to when you're in adulthood. And if they make a Toy Story 6, that means I'll probably be 40 or something. And then just imagine that. The first movie came out when I was born. I saw the second movie when I was a very little kid in theaters. And then when I'm in my 50s or something, the 6th movie comes out. Could you imagine that? Or 7th movie comes out. It's insane. Batman 235 says, I'm going to be 15 when Beyond the Spider-Verse releases. Yeah, I know. That's crazy. I Hate Anime says they need to stop milking franchises. That is not going to happen. If you know Hollywood, that's never going to happen. Unless it stops making them money. Batman 235 says, Eric, a fellow YouTuber of mine, has an insider say that James Gunn has cast his Batman. Really? Do you know who the Batman who he casted as Batman? Do you know? If you do, drop it in the chat and I'll read it. And again, Liam, thank you very much for the Streamlabs chat. I really appreciate that, bud. I really do. I don't trust insiders until they have good sources, says Chris Thompson. Me too. Dark says, I'm pretty sure it's Jensen Ackles. No, Jensen Ackles is a fan cast. It's not the actual person they've cast as Batman. Not yet, at least. Big Bash says, the Dark Knight trilogy, your favourite film trilogy of all time. It's definitely, I'd say, one of them. I'd say, yeah. If people can Minecraft be a future donation goal. Oh, you mean a future donation goal for Minecraft? Yeah, potentially. Chris says, I'll be graduating high school when Beyond the Spider-Verse releases. Wow, bud. Goat says, do you think Carl Urban would be a good Wolverine or Batman? I don't know. He hasn't got really the face for it, but if you put the mask on, I think he could hide that, so maybe. He looks pretty good as Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat, and I thought he wouldn't. I'll be 19 when it comes out, says I Hate Anime. Wow. I'll be either 22 or 23. Alright then. It's time to... Someone says Jack Black as Batman. Come on, Gamersaw. Don't do that to us. Alright then, time to talk about the first story, which is... Superman versus Fantastic Four. Now, the reason I thought I would do this is because I wanted to talk about box office. Who do you guys think will win at the box office for this movie? Because both these movies are about a week apart or so. So which movie do you think will make the most money at the box office? Do you think it'll be Superman or the Fantastic Four? Bearing in mind that the MCU has been suffering at the box office lately. So will this movie actually get people coming in? Will it actually get them the money? Because we've also got, don't forget, we've got Thunderbolts coming out soon. And Thunderbolts is a movie where it's also projected not to do well. It's projected to make even less than Brave New World. And that made about... Brave New World made just over $400 million in its pretty much its entire run. And if Thunderbolts is projected to make even less than that, or projected to open at less than Brave New World, that means the film can actually really suffer at the box office. Not to mention that next month is when Lilo and Stitch comes out as well, the remake, which seems to be getting a lot of traction. Let's see, Lilo and Stitch. When's it coming out? 23rd of May. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of movies are coming out then. So, what do you guys think? JK says, could be Superman due to behind-the-scenes footage showcasing practical effects. Yeah, it could be. It definitely could be. I think that the practical effects will be a huge deal. But my problem with Superman right now is that the marketing is not great for it. Because usually, I remember when Batman Begins would release, or any other superhero movie would release, the person that would take spotlight would be that hero. But right now, James Gunn is oddly taking all the spotlight. When I think Superman, I don't think David Corenswet as Superman. I think James Gunn directing Superman. And that's kind of an issue to me. I feel like when it comes to when the movie's releasing, you should really feel excited for the actor playing the iconic role. But I feel like I just can't, because they haven't really given us the opportunity to feel excited. It's like James Gunn gets top, like, billing in terms of, like, hype and everything, and then David Corenswet is down here. It's like James Gunn should find a way to, like, just, you know, let his actors take the spotlight. It feels like he's trying to take it every step of the way. It doesn't matter if David Corenswet is an unknown. The actor should still be up there, because for a lot of people at the time, particularly younger viewers, Robert Downey Jr. was a complete unknown. But Jon Favreau wasn't taking over the promotion of the movie. Robert Downey Jr. still was the face of it. Christian Bale, he had some big roles at the time, but for a lot of people, when he was cast as Batman in Batman Begins, I remember the promotional images that would come out. All the talk was really around him. Christopher Nolan at the time wasn't as big a name, so, you know, he was, it was talked about that, oh, the director of Memento was directing this, but it wasn't as big a deal. Certainly that conversation didn't crop up in my circles, so it was like everyone was paying attention to the images and paying attention to who was playing Batman. But with this, it feels like you can't really pay attention to who's playing Superman because James Gunn is taking all the spotlight for himself. And I think that's an issue. However, when you look at Fantastic Four, there is no ego. It doesn't feel like someone is taking the spotlight. It feels like the people that are taking spotlight in that movie is the Fantastic Four. But when you look at Superman, like I said, Superman, it feels like James Gunn is trying to take over and really like have the spotlight be on him. And that kind of does reduce the hype for a movie when it's less about the hype of the character and more about the hype of the director. And I don't think James Gunn is that big a director like, say, Christopher Nolan, for example. If Christopher Nolan makes a superhero movie, again, that would be a big deal. But James Gunn making another superhero movie, I don't think James Gunn is as high up on fandom, like on a fandom level, as he thinks he is. He's got his dedicated fan base, but general audiences, I'm sure they enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, but they don't look at them as deep movies, which is kind of what they look at as Superman as someone who's more deep than just the silly, fun Guardians films. He's the CEO of DC, says Batman 235. I know, but still, it's like he should be definitely taking praise for it. I'm not saying don't, but I'm saying then the attention should be shifted on to David Corenswet as Superman. And I feel like he's not shifting the energy onto him like he should be. It still feels like it's all about James Gunn. Khan says, so you think maybe James Gunn has a slight ego in him? I'm really hoping that's not true. I hope it's not true either, but James Gunn's name feels like it's so heavily on this movie. So for his sake, he better hope that it does well, because if it does great, then he'll get all the praise in the world. If it does bad, he's gonna get blamed for it, especially with how much he's slapping his name all over it. And the rumor that we're hearing from reliable scoopers about the test screenings is that the tone seems to be the issue with the movie, that people are not liking the tone too much. So I hope that doesn't mean James Gunn has, the James Gunn comedy in there. I hear it's less of a comedy, which is great to hear, because that was my original concern. But from what I hear now, it seems like it's less about the comedy. It feels like the movie is definitely, like they say, it's more like the first Captain America in terms of tone. And great, that's great that they're bringing the comedy down. But I don't know, I hope the movie still does well. I hope the Guardians tone is not in there. And from what we hear, the test screenings do say that the tone is the only issue. Like, they like the movie, but the tone is the issue. So yeah, I'm curious about what's going on there with that Superman movie. But with Fantastic Four, I like the tone that was in the trailer. If you watch my trailer reaction on my Patreon or my YouTube memberships, I actually talk very positively about the tone, the feeling of dread that's in the trailer. But the problem is Marvel have always lied about the tones in their trailers. Just look at Age of Ultron, for example. Look at Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. Look at the Marvels. They did that with their most recent The Marvels trailer, and I said that the final Marvels trailer was a lie. I said the Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania trailer with Kang, I said that was also a lie, that I don't trust it. Then when you saw the movie, it was just another comedy. So it was a lie. They always lie with their trailers, so as much as I like the feeling of dread in the Fantastic Four trailer, I don't trust it. I feel like Marvel are giving you that vibe with some creepy music, but I don't think they're going to stick to it, and that is my issue with them. Neoma says, you mean the Age of Electrons? Yes, maybe I do. JK says that's most casting with most Superman actors are unknown before becoming Superman, while Batman castings are more popular, well-known actors. Yeah, that too. But if you remember when Man of Steel came out, Zack Snyder wasn't making it all about himself. He was the director, so we would watch interviews with him. But Henry Cavill was where everyone was looking at. And so was Russell Crowe. They put him on the spotlight there too. But and Amy Adams as well, of course, as Lois Lane. But I feel like they're not doing that like to the extent that they should be with David Corenswet or the other characters. Although I will say Rachel Brosnahan does feel like she has been getting even more spotlight than David Corenswet, which is bizarre. But in terms of hype, I feel like right now the Fantastic Four is actually doing it better than the Superman movie, because it feels like that what's selling the movie, what's in the spotlight is the Fantastic Four movie, the Fantastic Four characters. But the spotlight for Superman feels more like it's James Gunn and James Gunn's next movie rather than Superman the movie, if you know what I mean. Eric Carter, I recommend you watch Fantastic Four 90s animated series and Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes. I watched Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes when I was a kid. Look, just watch this. The Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes. I used to watch it on Cartoon Network when I was a kid. Here, I'll just plop it right here. There you go. Yeah, I used to watch this when I was a kid. Loved this show. It was on Cartoon Network back in the day. Really enjoyed it. I do feel nostalgic towards it too. Look at Johnny's hair. That is a perfect indication as to what kind of character Johnny is. And I don't like the version that they've done with him with Joseph Quinn in the new one. I don't like what they've done with him in that regard. Big Bash says Cartoon Network always aired the coolest shows. It sure did. Back when in America, I think you guys got more cartoons on Cartoon Network, but us kids in the UK, Toonami had a lot more of the adult stuff like X-Men Evolution, Teen Titans, the Justice League. But we were able to watch Teen Titans and Justice League in other forms. Like I was able to watch Teen Titans on the Teen Titans on Cartoon Network eventually, because somehow they eventually bought it on. X-Men Evolution I've been trying to watch now that you can get it, other ways on digital and everything. So now I'm trying to watch it. And the Justice League animated series, I used to watch that on CITV when I was a kid in the mornings. So yeah, there's other ways to watch Justice League, and there's obviously other ways to stream it as well. It's on Netflix. At least certain episodes are here in the UK. So yeah, there are other ways now to gain access to them. But yeah, back when I was a kid, a lot of them were split up on Toonami. Certainly the serious shows. We just want Norman Red. I agree, Mr. Forful. I want Nor Red as well. Because this film is outside the MCU. Uh-huh. Saeed says, I'm more excited about Superman. Something is telling me it will be great. Here's hoping. I really hope so as well. They should have had both the male and female Silver Surfer. I agree. I don't like that they got the female Silver Surfer in there, but at this point, it's like, what can you do? They've done it. So, yeah. Mr. Forful says, saying it's another universe still isn't a good excuse. We just want Norman Red. No exceptions. I heard rumors. I don't know if this is true, but I heard rumors that Marvel... I don't know if this was a rumor or if this was an actual article, that they said that the female Silver Surfer will only be in this one movie, and then she won't be in the others. So maybe she'll die in this, which I hope is probably the case. So I think in this movie that the Fantastic Four are going to lose, and because they're supposed to be... Their secret in this movie is that they're from another universe, essentially, and that they ended up somehow in this universe, and they just embraced it. And people think they are from this universe. But the trick is that you'll find out they're not from this universe, and what the trailer seems to hint is that it was when he says that we seem to stretch it too far, when he says that to Sue. I think that they've done something, and Galactus doesn't like it, or the universe doesn't like it. So that means that what they're going to do is come after the Fantastic Four, because they do not belong in this universe. They belong in a different universe. And I think that is what is ultimately going to have this universe get killed, and then the Fantastic Four will end up in our universe, like the main MCU universe, which is where Doomsday will take place, and where they will meet up with the rest of the Avengers and the rest of the characters in that universe. So that's what I think is going to happen. I just hope that, like I said, Marvel don't screw it up, because they clearly are still... They've not learned all their lessons. They're clearly still making a lot of the same mistakes, and that is something which has me concerned. So I hope Marvel do right by it. That's what I really, really hope. So yeah, Fireboy says, Eric, thoughts on Galactus in the trailer? I thought it's hard to say, because we haven't seen him properly, but if you watch the IMAX trailer for Fantastic Four, the first trailer, you see more of the back of his head. And he looks like a bunch of trash cans, quite honestly. To me, his design looks like a bunch of trash cans over his head. And I think he looks better than what we had before, that fart cloud and Rise of the Silver Surfer. But I think what we have, it will be interesting. Let's see how they do. I like seeing how big his foot was. So he's not as big as he was in the comics, where he was just humongous next to a whole planet. But so they're clearly trying to bring him down a bit, and we'll see how they do. But let's hope that he has more of an appearance down the line in, say, a future Fantastic Four movie, and not just this one. Here's hoping about that. Okay, so the G-Gamer says, so Silver Surfer is like Groot with sacrificing themselves. Maybe this... No, I don't know if this one will sacrifice itself. Who knows, maybe it will. I just hope this one dies. I don't want this Silver Surfer to stay. I want Nor Red. No one wanted Shala Ball. And when they're saying that, oh yeah, this is what you wanted, it's like, no one wanted it. Marvel just felt like they needed to fill a quota of how many female characters and male characters there were. That's all it was. So casting-wise, I like a lot better what James Gunn did with Superman. The casting has been on point with everyone. The MCU, though, what they've done with the Fantastic Four, there's still question marks on the castings of the main four. So that's one thing I'll give Superman. Now, does anyone else have any questions regarding these two movies, or are there any points that you want to raise? If so, put them in the comments, or if you definitely want to make sure that yours gets read, then submit it as either a Super Chat or a Streamlabs chat. And Streamlabs chats you can do through the link pinned in the comment section, or in the link that's in the description. Your donation, like I said, will help support the channel, and you'll also definitely get your question highlighted on the screen, and I'll be able to answer it for you. For sure. Batman235 says, do you like how Superman is using practical effects? I actually haven't watched the behind-the-scenes thing for Superman, I haven't, so I don't know. But yes, I have seen behind-the-scenes set photos. I love how they're using practical effects. Here's hoping. I'll watch that behind-the-scenes at some point as well. I might put it on my Patreon too as a reaction, I might. And yeah, I'll see what I'll see what I think. But yes, I do love that they're using practical effects. That's how they should be doing it. It shouldn't be CGI every other which way. It should be using CGI when there's no other way to do it. But they should do as much as they can in camera before they go for the CGI. Also, do you know Fantastic Four right now is being reshot? It's going through reshoots. So Superman is not going through reshoots. They did pick up shots and things, you know, but Fantastic Four looks like it's going for like full-on reshoots. So that is not a good sign. Marvel always seem to do that. Super Angry brings up a very good point. He says, guys, literally, Jurassic World Rebirth is coming out before. People will swarm to watch that, regardless of quality. Those movies have made billions. You're probably right, which is why I said in the past that I think in terms of who will win at the box office, I think it will be Jurassic World, Superman, and then Fantastic Four. That's what I think. So what do you guys think? You know what? I'm going to put a poll out there. I'm going to put a poll out here, and you guys can vote. Give me a second. Which will make more at the box office? Superman or Fantastic Four First Steps? Alright, I'm going to put the poll out there. You guys get to voting. Who do you think will win? Okay, wow. Looks like one gets the lead. The other one is starting to get a bit of a fight, but let's see. JK says, you did this last time on Superman 1. But now we're talking about it more specifically, and now we've got a second trailer to Fantastic Four, so you can kind of reevaluate now. It's a constantly changing game until the movie comes out. And when trailers and everything come out, that always changes the hype. So the hype is now in a different level to what it was before, when Fantastic Four only had one meh trailer. The Logman says, I mean, Superman is extremely popular, so it's obvious. Could you imagine, though, if it still loses? It depends who does the best movie. That's what it really depends on. G-Game says, I'm going to say, unfortunately, Fantastic Four. Batman235 says, Eric, they actually use practical effects for the robots in Superman. I thought those looked like practical effects, so I'm glad they confirmed that they are, because they looked quite good to me. So, yeah, pretty good on them that they use practical effects like that. Yeah, I can't wait to see Superman. When I saw that clip when they did that clip of Crypto and the Fortress of Solitude and how it can actually rotate and you have those magnifying glasses to enhance the sun on Superman, loved all that. So I cannot wait to actually see that. I really am looking forward to seeing what they do with that. But basically, when that clip was over, I was like, this is a movie that I feel like I have to see on the big screen, and I wish I could see the rest. So if the tone is reflective of that, then that means that they've done a very good job, and it means the movie is a movie that is just very pleasant to watch and very comforting to watch, because that's the vibe that I got from it. Eric, taste for versus Super Eric. I'm sorry, I don't really quite get that. Can't believe it's going to be 10 years ever since the last Fantastic Four movie. Yeah. Well, in 2 years it will be... Oh yeah, you mean the Fan 4 stick. Oh yeah, I forgot about that for a second. Yeah, it is. It's going to be, isn't it? Yeah, wow. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll. There's about nine of you that have not voted, so go ahead, put your votes in, and then we'll close the poll out. Crazy Cat Lady says Galactus looks so big. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Okay, we're gonna end the poll. And if we take a look at the results, it says 81%. Which will make more at the box office? Superman has 81%, and Fantastic Four: First Steps has 18%. So people seem to think that Superman is going to make more at the box office. I think so too. If I had to put my vote in, I would say Superman. That's what I think. David Cornsweat versus Homelander. Homelander would lose. He's such a wimp. Mr. Forfall says, "Hey Eric, I hope you're able to do that Mario movie versus Minecraft versus video that I suggested on my super chat comment. I was hoping so too, but I don't think I will be able to. I'm not canceling the idea yet, but I don't know if I will be able to, because like I said, I'm working on 5 videos right now, 3 for YouTube, 2 for Patreon. That's a lot to do. So to add another video on there, it's not easy. Plus, next month when Lilo and Stitch comes out, I've got a versus video to do with that as well. So there's a lot of work that I have to do here." Do you like the Fortress of Solitude looked on the inside? Yes, I liked it a lot how it looked on the inside. I think I could actually go for a slightly better design on the outside. I thought it was pointy on one side. My favourite Fortress of Solitude was in Smallville. I loved the look of that one. The design of it and how pointy the ice shards were. But this one still looks good as well. Spirit Hero says, "I can't wait to see your Snow White versus video." Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Oh... Okay. Lucas says, "What do you think of Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El?" I don't really like that idea personally, but let's see how he does. Doc, I'm still going to try to work on that Sonic Versus video. I'm still going to try. David Cornsweat versus Omni-Man. G-Gamer says, I don't know, that'll be hard. I need to see how strong David Cornsweat is in the movie first. The G-Gamer says, "Question, have you ever seen that 1980 to 1990 Fantastic Four movie? I think that movie looked super cheap." I have seen it. My brother and I watched it on my projector over there. And I fell asleep on it because it just got so boring. But it was funny as well, it was. It was funny how bad it was, but... the worst part was when Sue's mother and Johnny's mother said, "Look at all of you, the Fantastic Four," when they all lined up like they were about to go. It looked like they were about to go to prom or something. That was so silly, that was. Joshman says, "Eric, would you recommend the animated Fantastic Four TV show?" The one I've got on my screen, yes, I would recommend it. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I did love it. When I was a kid. And yes, Batman 235, that poster does look classic. It looks really good. AS Hyper says, "Thoughts on the Thing?" I'm still in 2 minds of the Thing. He looks good, but not so good at the same time. It's bizarre, so I'm not fully convinced with him just yet. This May 31st. Uh-huh. Joshua says, "Eric, I did put my vote for Superman, and I think Superman is going to make even more money than Fantastic Four: First Steps. And I think Superman will be something special, and I'm hoping for that." Yeah, I hope it's special too. Yes, Big Bash, I did watch the Fantastic Four movies with Chris Evans when they came out. I watched both of them in the theatre. In fact, Fantastic Four 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer, was the first movie I watched in the theatre on my own, and I think I just turned 12. So I remember that. That was like a big deal. I was like, it felt lonely at first to watch a movie on your own because you're used to watching it with your parents. But then as I was watching, I was like, you know what, I'm really enjoying this, and I got used to watching movies on my own. Alright. Time to move on to the next story. Unless anyone else has anything to say about Fantastic Four and Superman. We're going to be moving on to the Minecraft story if you don't. Superman is something that has passion. Yep. And Fantastic Four has had like bad Fantastic Four movies before that, especially Fantastic. So yeah. Thought on Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I don't like that casting. I still see Pedro Pascal. I don't see Reed Richards. So hopefully he does a good job in the movie. But I'm not 100% convinced with him. Batman 235 for now, yes. Man of Steel is still a 5 out of 10, but I need to see the movie again to know what my updated score would be. Joshman says, Eric, I really did enjoy the sneak peek of Superman, and I'm way more excited for Superman than I am for Jurassic World Rebirth and the Fantastic Four. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm more excited for Superman as well, personally. Alright, time to move on to the Minecraft story. Now, this is quite an ugly thing that happened. Basically, in theatres, you have a lot of kids, essentially, that are deciding to be really, for lack of a better word, stupid in the theatre. And very inconsiderate. Basically, it all started with this thing right here. This is called a chicken jockey. Now, this is something that's in the Minecraft game, which is basically a zombie on top of a chicken, essentially. And Jack Black introduces this character and announces it in the movie. He says chicken jockey, and then this thing pops in. And apparently in the cinema, a trend that has been happening is that a bunch of stupid kids in there, they scream at the top of their lungs, they throw their popcorn at the screen, and in one case, someone actually bought a real chicken inside and threw it at the screen. And it's like, what the heck is going on? It's like they become animals themselves, essentially. And this is actually something that has been going around. And yeah, Khan said it right, even adults are doing this as well. This is such a weird thing, and anyone who's just in the cinema, just trying to watch a movie, will be like, what the heck is this? It's like chaos has gone on. It's like they've just turned into animals. And it's actually gotten really, it's such a disruptive thing, and it's gotten so disruptive that theatres have actually called the police in over situations like this. And there's actually videos out there of police showing up in the auditoriums and essentially trying to tell them all to stop. And I think they're being escorted out as well. And I would say good on them for escorting them out, because what they did was just downright sick. Because I always say theatre audiences, that especially modern day theatre audiences, they are very inconsiderate. And these ones in particular, what they're doing, imagine if there's a kid in there watching a movie, like a very little kid watching a movie with their parents, and then all of a sudden the screaming happens. That would probably scar them. It would probably make them scared of even going back to the theatre. But it's also bad for the employees, because the employees have to come in and clean up that mess when they're causing all this mess and even bringing stuff like a chicken inside, throwing all that popcorn around. That's not the etiquette of when you're in the cinema. But that's what they're doing, and it's basically a mess for the employees. It's inconsiderate for everyone, basically. And they do not care. They says, you know what, we're just going to do it anyway. And it's become a trend. So it's not just happening in one theatre. It's happening in many for some reason. This is a trend that has taken off, and I don't know why they think acting like a bunch of animals is a trend that should be taking off and should be encouraged. That's what's basically happened, and it's got a lot of people really irritated with it. And yeah, like Jake says, he says he doesn't get it. What's the joke? I don't get it either. It's like a little zombie character jumps on top of a chicken, and that's enough to cause them to act like this, all rabid. It's insane. It really is. It's mainly in America, says Doc. That does not surprise me one bit. Big Bashers, they are watching it for the memes so they can act a fool because of it. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's become a trend where they've just jumped onto it and now are saying that, yeah, we're going to turn this into a meme, essentially. So yeah, once you got that meme bug, like a lot of generations do now, they then just they don't care. They just say, yeah, we're gonna keep on doing it. So it seems like this has been known now. Like, a lot of people know about this, even adults. People who normally are not tuned into this kind of thing, even they know about it, which is kind of surprising when you think about it. So yeah, it's ugly. It really is an ugly situation what they've done and what they've just who would do that? So I don't know if it's happened in the UK, but it does sound like it's mostly an American thing. A thing that they've done in America, but it's not happened here. So yeah, I think it's very inconsiderate, very annoying, and it further shows why people do not trust going to the movie theaters and why they just want to stay at home and watch the movie there, because this kind of thing will definitely not happen at home. So yeah, that's what I think about that. JK says it sounds very stupid. That's because it is. Jess says this is also happening in the UK. Is it really? I'd be surprised if it's happening in the UK. Because people in the UK seem to have more sense when it comes to this kind of thing. Let's put it this way. I went to an Avatar concert, and in the Avatar concert, the person that was conducting, the conductor, he actually said to people, when we do the secret tunnel thing, feel free to sing along with us. And he was constantly trying to get people to sing along by going like this, like, you know, come on, sing. And like, I don't hear you singing. And we didn't sing. None of us sung. We wanted to hear the orchestra. That kind of shows you how even at a concert, people were like, yeah, we're not singing along, we're not screaming along with you, we are just going to be paying attention to the concert. That's the UK for you. Meanwhile, if you go on YouTube and look at a lot of people in America and everything, they are singing along. They are much more loud when it comes to watching the movie. So it would surprise me if this is happening in the UK, because UK audiences, they don't care that much. They usually just want to enjoy what is the performance in front of them. They normally don't want to see that kind of behavior themselves. Jake says apparently this happened in Canada as well. Wow. G-Gamer says it's because people want to get these clicks, views, and followers on TikTok, and it's tiring and it's chasing a trend. Batman235 says no, it's not in the UK. Yeah, see, I would not be surprised. Doc says this is just America for you, but Big Bash says is Australia as well. Robin says apparently in one of the screenings the cinema exploded. I find that hard to believe. That sounds like crazy talk to me, honestly. Luckily this didn't happen in my theatre, says Sandman 2000. Okay, that's a relief. I wonder if it would have happened in mine. Like I said, I don't think it would, but I wonder if it would have at the same time. But again, our audiences in my cinema, they're not really like that, so I don't think it would be. In my country, people barely come to the theatre, says Goat. Eric Carter, have you seen Minecraft movie, says Caleb. No, I haven't seen it yet. You know what? Let's take a look at the box office for Minecraft. Let's see, where is the Minecraft movie at? Because we're at the second weekend now, aren't we? The numbers. Let's take a look. How much has it made in, like, its second week now? Whoa! It's made $720 million worldwide already. So, this movie, I think, is pretty much, I think, at this point, it's going to get to the $1 billion point, I think. And that's Warner Brothers. Does that make them the first movie this year to get to the $1 billion point? Normally it's Disney that is the first, but Disney have been struggling this year with, they've been struggling with Snow White, with Falcon the Winter Soldier. We know they're going to struggle with Thunderbolts. The only movie that potentially has a chance of getting to $1 billion is Fantastic Four. But that's potentially. I don't think it will. Yeah, Gamersaw, they have. They've already announced Minecraft 2. And who wouldn't? I don't blame them, of course. Of course they would once they see box office numbers like this. You'd be crazy not to. So, yeah, definitely. G-Gamer goes, what the heck? And it's like a 4 out of 10 movie. What's so special about this? Yeah, you got me, bud. I think it's just the fact that Minecraft, the name is so big, and the fact that there's like a bunch of Minecraft stuff going on in the movie, like the building and everything that they do. I think that's enough to kind of get people in, I think, with this, quite honestly. But yeah. It is insane. But good on Warner Brothers. They needed a win, and they got one. Jacinda says, no thank you. Is the Jack Black influence? Yep, probably is. But I don't know. I feel like it's not Jack Black. I think it was more Jason Momoa. I think he's a big name. Minecraft itself also sells. Jack Black, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are getting sick of Jack Black. He has had some controversies come his way. So I don't think it's that reason, I don't think. If I was being honest with you. Spirit Hero says he's back. That's great. Okay, guys, we're going to end the stream in about 10 minutes. So if you have any questions that you want to get my way, now is the time to send them over. About 10-15 minutes, we'll end the stream. What are your thoughts on Fast X? I liked Fast X, but I didn't love it, personally. I did have some issues with it. I've actually not seen that video of Jack Black attacking paparazzi on the beach, but I wouldn't blame him for trying. The paparazzi, they are, like, just terrible. No, Big Bash, it's not the Q&A yet. We're still talking about any questions about Minecraft or anything related to it. Lion Fire says, favourite Fantastic Four member? Johnny Storm. Which is why I was disappointed that they made him the way he was. Hunter Whitney, haven't seen you in a while, says Nazar 2 was the first movie that made $1 billion this year. True, but that's in China. I meant in America, Western movies I was talking about at the box office. But yeah, technically that one did first. Have I ever seen The Watson Show? I don't think so. Do you think this movie will be pulled from theatres, says Sadman 2000? No, it's not going to get pulled from theatres. It's going to make its money. Definitely. So yeah, it just seems kind of crazy. So Eric, which superhero movie do you think is the most underrated? I don't know. I think I have to think about that one. I'll get back to you on that. I don't know immediately off the top of my head. So are there any other questions that you have regarding the anything from this live stream, whether it be Superman, Fantastic Four, First Steps, the Minecraft movie itself, or the insane chicken jockey thing? Have you got any thoughts to say? And has any one of you ever seen... Have any of you ever seen this Minecraft movie? Let me know. Have any of you seen the Minecraft movie? Fireboy says yep. Goat says nope. Robin says I've seen it. Dark says yup. Gamersaur says I have. Big Bash says yes. Good Time says I've seen it. I've seen it. It was so much fun. The G Gamer says I saw it and thought it was bad, but I will admit it was a fun time. Joshman says, Eric, what is the main reason you want to end the stream in 10 minutes? Because you usually keep it up longer after the stories. I do, but I was feeling a bit tired today. In fact, I was even thinking for a second to end the stream sooner for that reason. But then I thought, no, I was thinking, should I even do the stream at first? But then I was like, no, I'm going to. But we'll see. If I'm still awake by it and I'm still chatting with you guys, because sometimes you guys know how I can still enjoy chatting with you guys, then I'll stay on for longer. But if I get tired, then I'll just cut it short. But let's see how it goes. Ethan's Drawing has done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, bud. He says, if I were in the theater when the chaos happened, I would clean up all the mess for the employees after the movie. That's very generous of you, that is. Thing is, I would just... If it was me, honestly, I would just complain and get my money back for the movie at the very end. That's the kind of thing that I would do. Because I don't like when people ruin a movie for you. James Cameron or Christopher Nolan? I'd say Christopher Nolan, because James Cameron is just sticking to Avatar movies now, and his Avatar movies are just... The first one I really enjoyed. The second one was okay, but the visuals are what made it. But the movie itself, nothing special. Killick has done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Killick. He says, I hope Superman and Fantastic Four are good. Chicken Jockey. I hope they're good too. Sim does art and reviews. It says, I want to watch the Minecraft movie. The hype was like the Portal endgame scene, if not much bigger. Wow, really? Fireboy's going now. Take care, Fireboy. Thanks for joining the stream. Who said that? Where are you? Where did you go? Oh, where did that comment go? I wanted to read that. Oh, there you go. Hunter Whitney says, who have not seen you in the stream for a while, so I really have missed you, bud. Says, I did. It was like a 5 out of 10. Wow. So a lot of you guys have seen it. When I asked you if any of you had seen Sinners, a lot of you said no. When I've asked you about Minecraft, a lot of you have said yes. I think that pretty much tells you right there that, yeah, people have... Yeah, the movie is a big deal. Like, I can see why it's making $1 billion, because a lot of people have seen it. "4 out of 10. The game is better," says Big Bash. Do I play Minecraft? No, I don't play Minecraft. "6 out of 10 for me," says Robin. Khan says, tell us the story of why you don't play Minecraft. The reason I don't play Minecraft is the same reason I don't play a lot of these popular games, is because I'm afraid that my life will just revolve around it, and that's something that games can do, and that's why I've always avoided it. So I play games mostly that are single player, where they have a beginning, middle, and end, and you can replay levels if you want to, but that's ultimately it. That's games that I prefer to play. Time Shadow, hey buddy, how have you been? Great to see you on the stream. Like World of Warcraft or Fortnite, says G-Gamer? Exactly. Especially like those games. And The Sims and things like that. I try to stay away. Connor. Great to see you, Connor. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Hey Eric, to answer your earlier question, the highest grossing film of the year right now is actually a Chinese animated film called Nazar 2. You will be shocked at how much it made. I'm aware how much it made. It made over $1 billion. I've heard that story, yeah. But I was talking specifically in Hollywood terms, how much it had made. G-Gamer goes, wait, quick question. Did you see that South Park episode where they were playing World of Warcraft? I think I did, yeah, where the whole episode was like that. And did it end with Butters having a ninja star stuck on him somewhere? If so, then yes, I did see that, yeah. Eric, when is my review coming? Well, buddy, you've only just given me that movie recently and said this is the one you want me to review. So it will come. I'll try to watch it and then I'll try to review it. But right now I've got these others that I'm working on, including someone else on Patreon. And then I'll get to it. But don't worry, I will get to it. If you told me ahead of time, like months ago when you did the commission, I actually probably would have got it ready by now. But because I only just recently got it, I've written it on the list, but I haven't started it yet. I need to get the movie, and then I need to watch it, then I need to take notes and everything. But right now, I'm working on 5 videos. I'm working on 3 videos for the channel, 2 of which are versus videos. 1 is a Nintendo video, and then 2 other videos, they are for Patreon. So once I've lightened my load on that, then I'll get to it. Because you saw the review of the first one. I want to take my time with the review. I don't want to rush a review out for you. Although I technically could, because that's the whole point of quick movie reviews. They're meant to be quick. But I still want to give you a good review. Eric, have you seen Superman and Lois? No, because I was really just kind of like done with the CW at that point. So I didn't watch it for that reason. Have you played Marvel Rivals? I tried to, but I needed to do some workarounds to get it to play on my Steam Deck, and then I did those workarounds, and then it was not running very well, even though it was running well on other people's Steam Deck. So I was like, okay, I've got to look into this, but I just don't want to spend a lot of time looking into this kind of stuff. So I had to just delete it, and I didn't play it ultimately for that reason. Super Angry, bro, just play it on PC, says Super Angry. I don't have a strong enough PC to play it. I've got my Mac, but you know, I'm not really... The thing is that Marvel Rivals is one of those games, like I said, is the kind of game I don't want to play because I don't want to get too much into it. It reminds me of those types. I like to play single-player games, personally. Caleb says, do you play Sonic games? I used it on my DS when I was a kid, but I wasn't a huge player of them. That being said, you can get Sonic Unleashed as a PC port now, and you can run that on your Steam Deck too. So I want to try to get that on my Steam Deck at some point and play that. So yeah, that's what I want to play next. as far as Sonic games go. Eric, do you think Disney should buy Sony so that Spider-Man can appear in Daredevil Born Again Season 2? Nah, Disney are struggling with the properties they have. They're struggling with Lucasfilm, they're struggling with Marvel, they're struggling across the board. So to get Spider-Man on board, you know, I don't think they have the money now to basically buy that out. And Sony are never going to give it to them because Sony, they're a big company and they want Spider-Man. It's like their only really profitable and guaranteed box office draw. They don't want to get rid of that. So I don't think that'll happen. Hey Eric, did you look back over the video again? What are your thoughts? I didn't look over it yet, Time Shadow. So it was all down to timing. I'm working on 3 videos right now. 2 versus videos, 1 Nintendo video, and 2 Patreon videos. So I've not checked it yet. But I will say to everyone, if you've seen my Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Episode 1 reaction video, the edited down version, you can all have Time Shadow to thank for that, because he is actually he's offered to be my editor for some videos that I want edited. So yeah, if you want to know who edited that together, in terms of putting all the clips together and everything and doing a lot of the animations on that, that was him. So I did a couple touch-ups at the very end, but yeah, Time Shadow has been working with me to edit that video and the reaction to the second episode. And we're gonna continue to maybe even do some more. So yeah, give Time Shadow, give him a round of applause, give him a thanks and everything. It's he put work into it, and it's very good what he's done. I was very impressed, and he took my notes on. When I gave him notes, he took all of them on board, and he did a fantastic job. So I'm very, very proud. Oh, Jake says he has to go now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jake. Take care, bud. Hopefully, I'll see you on the next stream. Be sure to watch my videos and comment on them when I upload them, so I know you've seen them. Then I'll reply to your I'll respond to your comment as well. Big Bash says, Eric, have you played God of War? I have. I played all the God of War games. I played I started with the PSP versions. Then I played God of War 1 and I beat that. Then I played God of War 2. I never got to finish that, unfortunately. I beat God of War 3 remastered on the PS4. There was another God of War after that, but I never got to play that because they never re-released it. It was just on the PS3. And I played God of War, like the main recent God of War, not Ragnarok, but the one before that on the PS4, but I never finished it. There was a point where I just kind of got stuck and I didn't continue, about halfway, 3/4 through something. But yeah, I do want to play that again at some point. And then God of War Ragnarok, of course, I've not played yet either. Robin's going to go now as well. Take care, Robin. I really appreciate you joining the stream. I've not seen the Star Wars Japan event. No, I wasn't even aware it was happening until just recently. But when I saw it, it was genuine. Sorry, I have seen the announcements have come out of it, but I haven't seen the event itself. But I do want to see it. Doc will stay to the end. Oh, thanks for that, bud. That's appreciated. Connor says, by the way, Eric, I finally saw Terrifier 3 last night, and you were right, it's the best of the 3. Told you. I enjoyed the third one. I felt like they brought the editing down. They edited it more like a mainstream movie. The bigger budget helped it. And it felt like it was a more of a competently put together movie. I genuinely did like that. Killick says, heading out. Stay safe, Eric and everyone. Okay, take care, bud. You too. Eric, have you finished Daredevil Born Again? And what are your thoughts on the series as a whole? I have finished Daredevil Born Again, yes. The reactions will come up as they come up. I'm editing them amongst everything else, but they'll be on my Patreon, like I said. I don't want to give my thoughts away on that. I'll just leave it at that. I watched Smile 2 last night. The ending was so much better than the first one. Yes, it was, Doc. I really did enjoy the ending a lot more too. Super Angry says, bro, play the new Fortnite Star Wars season. Dave Filoni is directing it. He's directing his Fortnite season? That makes no sense. Eric, who is worse TV show, Homelander or comic book Black Noir? I've not read comic book Black Noir, so I don't know. Alright, so now we're going to go over to the Q&A. So let's go over here. And yeah. Superman and Lois is so good. Must see, Eric, says Batman235. If I have time, I will. I've got a lot of other shows to catch up on at the moment. Eric, it's a prank. Oh, really? Okay. Cool, I didn't know that. What are your thoughts on the Star Wars prequels? I don't hate them like everyone else. The third one I love. That's my favorite one, especially if you watch the Clone Wars, makes it better. But yeah, I do see the issues with the first two, but there's a lot of good stuff in them too, I thought. Eric, have you seen Wall-E, says Gamersaw? Yes, I saw it in the theatre back in the day when it came out. Me and my family went. It was a very good movie. Joshman says, Eric, did you think they utilized the TVMA rating for Daredevil Born Again? Yes, they did. There were some cheap moments where they did it, but ultimately I thought they did it very well, especially in the last 2 episodes. But the thing is, I'm tired at this point of giving Disney any praise for this. They should have done it a long time ago. I feel like we had to beg and we had to basically... Like, I'm just exhausted of asking for that, so they're not getting no praise. It's about time. When they have characters like Daredevil and the Punisher, they gotta be rated R. But for them to make the abomination of the show they were originally going to make, at this point, I have no praise to give them for that. They better have come out and made it rated R after that abomination. Hunter Whitney says, I wasn't here at the beginning, but did you watch Sinners, and what did you think? No, I did not see Sinners, and I was asking everyone in the chat if they had, and a lot of people hadn't, surprisingly. So, yeah, that was interesting. Do you like Big Hero 6 or Super Angry? Yes, I really enjoyed Big Hero 6. I need to see it again at some point, but yeah, when I saw it, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Me and my family liked it. Connor says, I also got Sonic 3 on DVD today. Still a peak movie. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I need to get that make that Versus video. I'm just kind of stuck at a certain point because I've got all these other stuff to do. Do you like Big Hero 6? Yes, I do like... Oh, I've already read that. Yes, I do like Big Hero 6. Eric, who's your favorite Star Wars character? I'd say Anakin. Love a lot. There's a lot of great Star Wars characters, though. I also loved Obi-Wan as well, but particularly from the Clone Wars. You know, I like them better there than I do in the movies. Gotta go. Bye now, says Supersonic. Take care, Supersonic. I appreciate it. Drake the Heartbreaker says, have you tried Marvel Rivals? I tried to play it on the Steam Deck, which is where I installed it, and it ultimately got running, but it didn't run particularly well, so I had to look into another solution, because I've seen other people run it well, but I just didn't have time to do that, so I'm sorry to say I never got to play. I played some, but not much. Khan says, Eric, what's your least favourite Pixar movie? Cars. Cars is Pixar, right? If it is, then yeah, that's the one. Charleston, Matt Reeves didn't say it's on the brink of being cancelled. People are saying it's going to be on the brink of being cancelled. He didn't say it's going to be cancelled. Joshua says, Eric, if you did notice the animated Jesus movie King of Kings is making money, and do you plan to go see it? And are you into Christian faith-based movies? I'm not planning to see it because, like I said, I've got plenty of other stuff to see. Sinners is something I want to see. So, yeah, because I've got too much to see, I'm not going to be watching that, sadly. Vladimir says, hey, new here on your channel. Great chat about movies. I'm curious on your thoughts about Shawshank Redemption. Oh, well, welcome, Vladimir. Really, if you're new on the channel, then yeah, welcome. Zydan, haven't seen you here for a hot second as well. Was there any verse videos that you think were going to be closer than it ended up being? You have to rephrase that, G-Gamer. I don't quite understand it, that question. What did Vladimir ask, though? Where is his question gone? Oh, Shawshank Redemption. I've actually not seen that movie yet. It was 3 hours long, and that always put me off. But yeah, I need to see that. I still haven't seen it yet, though. Big Bash, I've not played Red Dead Redemption because I've always wanted to play the first game, but they only just recently brought it to PC, and now that they have, I can play it, but I'm not paying the extortionate price they're charging you for a game that is well over a decade old, so I'm not going to get it until it's at a bargain bin price on Steam. Then I'll play it on my Steam Deck. I mean closer than it ended up being, as in you thought it was going to be tough to decide which movie is better, but turned out it wasn't. Oh. Tough to decide, then turns out it wasn't. I thought Oh, I don't know. That's a tough question. Let me take a look at my versus videos and see. Uh, um, I'd say probably my Aquaman versus video with Black Panther. Originally, I thought that was going to be tough to decide, but then when I saw the movie the second time, it actually wasn't tough to decide. It was actually pretty easy. So I'd say that one. Yeah, that's probably the one. That was easier to decide on. Yeah, I think that's what I'd say. Neil, the main man, says, what is your ranking of the Guardians movies and why? My rankings is the third movie, second movie, and first movie. Third movie because it's just better. I think it's got a lot more serious stuff in there, which is what I could really attach to. The rocket stuff I thought was heartbreaking and really well done. Second movie because there was a bit more of a serious... It had more of a serious core to it. I liked the stuff with Peter and Yondu. That really paid off quite nicely. The first movie, I liked it when I saw it the first time in theaters, but when I saw it the second time, it didn't quite work for me as much, surprisingly. The jokes didn't quite hit for me, and there were too many of them. I thought the writing was a bit weak. That's one of James Gunn's earlier movies, it seems, and it's like it was a bit weak compared to what he does now. But on the whole, it's very. I think it was very good. I like the third one better. Caleb. Caleb says. Sorry, Drake the Heartbreaker says, how's Patreon going for you? And I just took a look, and we have Caleb Hugley pledge $1 on Patreon. Thank you very, very much for that, buddy. That really will help support the channel. Like I said, any donations through Patreon, consistent donations, really help support the channel. So, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. You know what that means. I'm gonna write your... That was, just to confirm, that was you, was it, Drake the Heartbreaker? Drake the Heartbreaker. I'm sure that was you. Let's see. I need confirmation that was Drake the Heartbreaker. Was that you, buddy? That joined Patreon? Do you like any animes? Okay, Doc says it was, and I think it was as well. Drake says, I didn't sub to any Patreon, sadly. Then why'd you ask how's your Patreon right when I got someone subscribed to Patreon? Alright, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write down the name that I got here. Which is Caleb right here. There you go. So, Caleb, who's become a patron, his name will forever be in this stream, in this live stream. So, thank you very much to Caleb for supporting the channel via Patreon. I really do appreciate that. All I need is 1,000 $1 donations on Patreon, and there you go. That's the huge uptick that I said I was looking for on Patreon. That would really help a huge deal, and it would allow me to continue doing this full time. But even if it's just like even if it's just a couple hundred people doing it, that would still be an uptick of $1 donations. Goat says, in the comics, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander, and he was only made to kill Homelander if he goes rogue. And he went insane because he wasn't allowed to kill him, so he wore his suit to frame him. Ah, right. Interesting. That's really interesting. Wow, I wasn't aware. Cool. Some of you are asking how many patrons do I have? Let me take a look. It says I've got 259 members. In terms of, but that includes free members. In terms of like the actual paying members, it's it's in like the 52. I said I got 52 paying members. But it says in total I got 259 members. That's because 207 of them are free members. So, yeah. Eric, do you... Yeah, I said I did. I was impressed, I've already said, with the... Joshman, I did say that, yeah, I was impressed with the R rating, but I'm not going to give them praise for it because it's taken them so long to do it. G-Gamer says it very well. He goes, or like 100 people doing $10 donations. That could also work. Yep, that could also work. That would be the uptick that I need to keep on doing YouTube. You know, to be like, okay, there is full time. I could actually do it. Game Sources, bye, Eric. I gotta go. Take care, buddy. I really appreciate you dropping by. I really do. Big Bash says, Eric, what game did you like growing up you wish would be remastered? That's the funny thing. Games back then, they might not have aged as well now, but I don't really want them to be remastered. I like the older quality they have. But if there's one that could be, maybe Unreal Tournament 1999, because that's a game, that's my #1 favorite game of all time. It's still a great game now. However, it's still a great game now as well. Oh, Dark says, I've heard of that game. Yeah, it's a great, great game back in the day. I've actually got a fun story as to how I got that game. I'll tell you that some other time. But yeah, that was a great, great game, that was. And it's still my favorite. I have it on my Steam Deck now, and I play it on that, but it's much better with a mouse and keyboard. So yeah, that's the game that I much prefer, and I really... If they could do a remaster or something, it would be of that. But even so, I love the visuals of the game that it already has, but I could imagine that looking really good in a remaster. Like, really, I could. Got to get going, says Deadwolf. See you next week. No problem, buddy. Take care. Thanks for joining the stream. Black Noir also killed Butcher's wife and dog. That's cold, that is. Neoma says, Eric, who did you play as first in Marvel Rivals? Doctor Strange, because I liked the portal ring he could do. I thought that was really cool. Joshman says, Eric, how's it going on the Nintendo Switch 2 video? It's going very good. The video is getting closer to being completed. I just got to put a bunch of music in and stuff, I think. And I got to add a bit of the end to it. But then, yeah, it should be done and I'll upload it. Hopefully in a couple days now. Charlton says, what scared you more, Homelander or Omni-Man? Homelander, because he's more crazy. And it's like, you don't know what he's going to do. That's what makes it scarier. Omni-Man makes it quick. And, you know, you know when he's going to do something. He doesn't take you by surprise as much as Homelander. Homelander or Superman, Eric? Of course I love Superman more. His death is so disturbing but satisfying because Butcher killed him. Oh, interesting. The Time Shadow says, have you got any good tips for how to grow a channel? It really comes down to try to make something that's trending. Try to make something that is coming at something from a very interesting topic, from a very interesting perspective. That's what people normally want to see. And sometimes you can overthink stuff. Sometimes simple is better. Like, I've seen videos where the more simple approach actually works better than the more complicated approach. But it really is tricky. It's like a gamble. You don't know who the algorithm is going to favor. So that's the tricky part about it. Joshua says, Eric, you definitely state that you'll be doing a versus video between the animated Lilo and Stitch versus the live-action Lilo and Stitch. Yes, that is my goal. Hopefully that happens. But the problem is, May, June, and July are just jam-packed with movies. So it's hard for me to really get around to doing versus videos for all of them, but I'll try my best. I'll definitely try my best. Big Bash says, who would win in a match, Omni-Man or Alien X? Well, I would say probably Alien X, but at the same time, Alien X takes a long time to do anything, so maybe Omni-Man would kill him in that time? I don't know. I've not seen Ben 10 in such a long time to really know how Alien X would fare in that situation. Drake the Heartbreaker says, I find it crazy that the Nintendo Switch 2 costs more than an Xbox Series S. Yeah, it does. That being said, it is all portable, the power in it. But yeah, I do think it's quite expensive. Khan says, but Eric, most importantly, took a break through... Khan says, but Eric, most importantly, take a break, though. Either take a vacation, break, or a day off, just to let yourself cool off a bit before you make content. Your health is more important. Oh, thank you, Khan. I do agree, because I have fallen into those situations where I'm doing so much work and I just feel kind of down. I did feel that recently, too. I was like, I just kind of want to be away a little bit, but my deadline is ultimately June, but maybe my deadline could be the end of June. Maybe. We'll see what happens, but yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, but yeah. It is tricky. No, what was it? Eric, I hate Evil Superman. What's your favourite series of you? Mine is 2. Yeah, 2 was my favourite as well. Have you seen any episodes of Ben 10 Omniverse? I saw a couple, but then I stopped because they were so terrible. I was watching it more out of curiosity than anything. No, Neoma says no, because Alien X is now given full control in Omniverse. Izzy, I've not paid attention to Omniverse, I can't say. I'm basing it just on Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. Neoma says, bye, Eric. Okay, take care, Neoma. Thank you for your questions. They were very good questions, especially about Ben 10. Goat says, for some reason, I'm allowed to write 180 words. Cool. Wrath is my favourite Ben 10 alien. Have you watched Tales of the Jedi? Yes, I have. Loved Tales of the Jedi. No. Tales of the Sith I love. Tales of the Jedi, it had a good stuff in there, but it also had some bad stuff in there. But Tales of the Sith, I think, is what it was. That one I loved. It was amazing. Was it Tales of the Sith? Or Tales of the Empire, was it? No, forget Tales of the Empire. It was Tales of the Jedi. Yeah, Tales of the Jedi. That was amazing. I made a video on it, didn't I? Tales of the Jedi. Yeah, I did a binge watch video on Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Empire had some good stuff in it, but I didn't think it was great. Here, I'll put it in the chat. There you go. Yeah, I made a video on it. I loved it. A lot of people weren't making videos on it, but I did. I really had a great time with it. Joshman, I do hope they drop the price of the games on the Switch too, but it's Nintendo, so they won't unless people just don't buy it. Only then they might consider it. But I think they won't drop the price of the games, but they'll probably drop the price. I think they'll probably drop the price of the system, like they did with the 3DS. I don't think they'll drop the price of the games, though. Eric, do you hate Evil Superman? I don't hate Evil Superman. I just think it could be done better, I think, sometimes. Okay, guys, I'm going to end the stream in about 4 minutes. So, if you have any questions, any super chats, any Streamlabs chats that you want to do, now's the time to do it. Big Bash says, Eric, what are your thoughts on the 2008 Clone Wars movie? It wasn't great, but yeah, it wasn't very a good start. But the show got so much better, made up for the movie. Even Dave Filoni says he would make changes to that movie. And he directed that, he did. He directed that, 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 I would like to see a Lego Sonic or Lego Ben 10 game. Those would sell really well by Traveler's Tale Games, of course. It depends, I think. But I don't know. I don't think I'd want a Lego Ben 10 game. I'd want another proper Ben 10 game, I think. Uh, where is it? Time Shadow says, I really want to commission you to watch Doctor Who properly from 2005, but I can't afford it. That's okay, buddy. That is alright. Whenever you can, if you can. But yeah, that's a lot of episodes to cover, that is. So yeah. Eric, who's your favourite Green Lantern? Jon Stewart has always been my favourite Green Lantern. He really has. I do love Jon Stewart as a character. I've always wanted to see him in a live-action movie ever since I was a kid. Then we got Hal Jordan, who I was exposed to later on, but I still prefer Jon Stewart. And now we're getting a show about him. So I'm really excited. I love the actor they got to play him, and I hope they do a great job with it. So, yeah, can't wait to see it. Yeah, I saw the trailer for the animated Predator movie as well, Super Angry. It looked interesting. We'll see what it's like. Goat says, Eric, last question before I leave. Was my biography about Black Noir good? Yes, it was very good. It was very interesting as well. But clearly they've changed that now, so I wonder what is going to happen in the actual episodes of The Boys. Joshua says, Eric, do you think the live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch is going to be yet another soulless, cash garbage live-action remake? And I know Disney is most likely going to screw it up. I think it probably will be. Eric, who's your favorite horror slasher? Ghostface. Bye, Eric. Take care, Goat. Appreciate it. Joshua says Shrek or Shirk. Joshua, you always put those weird comments in there. You've done it in my videos too. I don't quite get that, your sense of humor with that. Captain Arathorn says, Captain Eric, what were your thoughts on Invincible Season 3? Your ranking of the seasons. I've not seen Invincible Season 3 yet, but I'm thinking of watching it and reacting to it on my Patreon for you guys to see, like I did with Season 2. So I can't respond to that yet because I've not seen it. What are your favourite Fast and Furious characters? Mine is Brian O'Connor. Really love his character. My favourite Fast and Furious characters. Yeah, I'd say Brian was a really good one. Definitely. I liked him and Vin Diesel together. They were both a great duo. Eric, please read my Superman story. Where is your Superman story? I have a Superman story where there is a prophecy that Kal-El will be a dictator and rule Earth, but Jor-El doesn't want that, and Superman becomes the man. He is a kind guy. That's my Superman story. Yeah, that's interesting, that sounds. Yeah, it's good conflict in there and everything, and Jor-El's a bit more involved. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Trevor says, about to see Sinners this Tuesday. Been hearing massive positive things about it. I've been hearing massive positive things about it too, so yeah, cool. Joshua says, Eric, I am not buying this Nintendo Switch 2 at launch. I am going to be waiting for a deep price drop. Yeah, a lot of people will be, and you'll benefit from waiting because more games will be released. And who knows, maybe the first party games are not going to go down in price, but the third party games probably will. So yeah, you'll get benefits for waiting for the third party games. And also more Nintendo games will be released, more of their exclusives. So yeah, by waiting you will benefit, but not as much in terms of the Switch games, that is. But stay tuned for my Switch video where I talk about it being a scam. Eric, who's your favourite superhero? Batman. Always been Batman. That is how I will do for Superman. Oh, cool. Okay, I think that is it now. I think that's the end of the stream. I think we've gone 5 minutes, not 4 minutes. So, guys, thank you very much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for supporting me all these times as well. And thank you for supporting me over on Patreon. I really do appreciate that. Like I said, the whole goal is to make the channel work and be a career path. So if you could really share the videos, give them a thumbs up, and comment whenever you can, that all really helps support the channel and also helps the algorithm notice my videos too. So please do continue doing that. Because like I said, the deadline is June, and if my channel does not see a significant uptick in that time, I'm probably then going to have to not make YouTube my full-time thing. And that means I won't be doing live streams every single week like usual. and the videos won't be coming as often either. So please do help me in essentially growing the channel, because that's what I'm trying to do up till that time, and I'd really appreciate all your guys' support and help. So thank you very much, guys. Love chatting with all of you, love spending time with you every single week, and I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.